up, YouTube? This is your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. This week I'm not going to go full on into politics or anything like that. But there was nothing major in the news this week except for us seeing the same old crap from the far left. They're trying to get everyone to wear masks because it's a form of control. Has nothing to do with the China virus. It's all political. It doesn't prevent the spread, and it doesn't prevent people from getting sick. Many doctors have come out and said this. That's been proven. So why do they keep trying to push us to wear masks? Think about it. It's a form of control. And these far left nuts who don't get that are ridiculous. They're insane. They don't understand it. They just do what they're told to do, like good little mindless, weak-minded soldiers. Just retarded. Anyways, I'm not going to get all into politics. You know how the far left are. They're insane. I feel bad for them, but it doesn't matter. Moving on. This week I want to talk about an older TV show that I just got done binge watching all 5 seasons. It's called Andromeda. It was a show that starred Kevin Sorbo, the guy who played Hercules. It was a show that was created by Gene Roddenberry from his writing originally. It had a lot of similarities to an old television movie called Genesis 2, where they tried a couple times to get a pilot going where a guy comes back from the past into the future, but they couldn't ever get it done. This show is similar. The storyline is very similar because Kevin Sorbo plays a character named Captain Dylan Hunt, who gets trapped into a black hole, the event horizon, or the edge of the black hole. He gets trapped in it for like 300 years until he gets rescued or pulled out of it. He belonged to a group kind of like, Star Trek's Federation. They were called the Commonwealth. You had a collection of planets that belonged to this Commonwealth. You had a lot of genetically altered humans that belonged to the Commonwealth. They had their own planets and crap. One of these genetically altered humans, of course, basically consider them superior at everything than the other parts of the human race. So they decided that they were going to take it upon themselves and take over and become what is called the Nietzschean Empire. They were called Nietzscheans. However, that's not what happened. There was a big fight. The Nietzscheans betrayed the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth was destroyed along with the Nietzschean Empire. It never happened. The Nietzscheans broke into what's called prides, and they began fighting among themselves. Prides are basically like tribes, their own set of groups. But the Commonwealth fell apart. Now, Dylan, Kevin Sorbo's character, he is rescued by the Morado. I think it's called the Morado. Can't exactly remember what the name is. Which is a salvage crew ran by Becca Valentine and Seamus Harper. They pull him out of the black hole. And they kind of end up eventually joining his crew, or becoming a part of his crew. The whole plot and the story is that he goes around trying to restore the Commonwealth by creating a new Commonwealth through all the known systems and worlds joining. Of course, at first he's have to do battle with a lot of Nietzscheans and crap like that. They also had a race that was kind of part of the plot called the Magog, who basically they're like an infestation. They go around, they eat people that they attack, but they also impregnate them with eggs, and these eggs, when they hatch, they eat the host. So they're basically just like a disease or cancer or whatever, is basically what the Magog are. Now they had this whole plot where the Magog was part of the main villain, part of the main villain. They had a big world ship called the Magog world ship, and they had to stop it, and they had this main villain called the Abyss. They had to stop the Abyss. But that didn't come about really until about the end of the second season. They started all that. However, the first two seasons was written by Robert Wolfe, which he done a lot of Star Trek. But then he left, and towards the end of the second season, and then you just started getting crap. The show kind of went downhill from there. And it started getting really weird. They kind of like threw out everything that Robert Wolfe was helping create with Gene Roddenberry's writing, and just tossed it out the window and started going in a completely, well, I don't even know if they were even had an actual direction. They went several directions, it seemed. You knew something was going on once they changed the character Transgemini. Then it got really bizarre and really strange. But you had some interesting characters at first. Dylan being the main character. His character, you know, they did quite a bit of backstory on it. I just think they should, they needed a few more character developments of backstories of the other characters. Most of it was all centered around Dylan anyway. You knew you were going to get a lot of story with him. He's basically the leader, and it has to do with the entire show. So, Andromeda was the ship, the name of the ship. But she had three different personality types. One was the main AI core. Then you had the AI that interacted pretty much with everybody through a hologram. And then you had Rami. Rami was an android that Harper builds. Well, no, not. He doesn't build. He just kind of helps put her back together, basically. Because apparently, in the first season, he supposedly builds Rami to interact with the AI of the Andromeda, the ship's core computer. And later on, it explains that the Commonwealth had AIs for every ship, or androids for every ship. So that kind of threw that out the window. So, in a sense, he kind of helped make her, in a way. But the main focus mainly focused on Rami as the ship, the android. The actress who played her, she wasn't all that great of an actress. She was okay, but she didn't come off as an android to me. She had too much feeling and emotions, which she didn't display all that great. Uh, but other than that, she was okay, but it wasn't really a character that really needed to be in the show. They could have just stuck with the AI and a hologram, to be honest. They didn't need the android. The next character, Becca Valentine, she's a captain of Moraro or whatever it's called, and she helped pull Dylan out of the black hole. Her character, I don't know, I really didn't like her character, to be honest. She's very defiant. She didn't want Dylan to be in charge of anything, yet she went along with it. She was like a little, I don't know, a little rich girl brat is what she reminded me of. She had to have everything her way and blah blah blah. It got really annoying after a while. Eventually she starts coming into her fold a little bit later on in later seasons. But at first I didn't really, I honestly just could not stand her character. She was really annoying. The next character, Harper. Harper was annoying, really annoying. He was kind of funny sometimes, but he was supposed to be annoying. That's supposed to be his character, but it drove me up the wall. He's basically the ship's engineer. Later on, they get a bunch of crew and crap, but yet he still can't. He literally has to do everything, which was just weird. I don't know why they didn't give him, like, a group of engineers and, he would order them around or something, He was literally doing everything. So I found that a little bit strange. Like, they hardly ever showed any of the other crew members. Once they, after about the second season, they started getting some crew members. They didn't hardly show any of them. It was just them, the main characters all the time. Like, the rest of the shit was deserted. Anyways, he was alright, but he was a little strange too. Then you had Tyr, who was originally a mercenary, who eventually reluctantly joins Dylan's crew. He is Nietzschean. I guess it's trying to introduce a Nietzschean character to understand them. Since supposedly they're the ones who helped destroy the Commonwealth and betrayed them. Yeah, I really didn't like the fact that Tyr kept doing this Shakespearean thing. It really got old. Other than that, the character was okay. I just really wish he didn't do the whole Shakespearean play type character. It was extremely annoying. I didn't like it. He was an okay character. I started to like his story arc, but then they went the whole, he's part of the Nietzschean who started the whole Nietzschean race thing, and it just fell apart, and it just got stupid after that. Let's see, the next, Rade. I didn't like his character at first, and they kept popping him in there. I don't know, it just felt strange. It didn't feel right. His character didn't fit in. But when they made him a part of the crew, eventually make him a part of the crew like he's an ancestor of the original Rade, after a while, he was alright. He wasn't bad. I didn't mind his character after that. But they didn't do a whole lot of backstory because, he was already part of the Commonwealth and everything. So, okay character after that. But Rev Bim, I absolutely did not like the character. In fact, I did not like the whole Magog race to begin with. I thought it was a dumb race. They just go in there and eat people and infest them with eggs. And then them eggs hatch and infest them again, like cancer. It was just, his character was I get the whole idea they're trying to make him like a monk, like he feels remorse for his race or whatever because they're morally wrong and blah blah blah. And it was just a dumb character. They look stupid too. That whole entire race. Um, and then you had Trans Gemini. I really liked her at first as the purple, kind of mischievous entity that's kind of like the Q. I liked her at first because that's what she was coming off as, her character. But then they changed her towards the end of season 2 and made her this whole thing to do with like she was part of a son's avatar or some shit. In fact, everything started having avatars after that, and I was like, okay, this is, whoever's writing this crap now is getting stupid, because there was an avatar for everything, and I was just like, this is dumb. But at first, I really liked the character Trance, but they got stupid with her after a while. And then you had Doyle. Now, she don't show up till like the last season, and she's basically another android that was originally supposed to probably take the place of Rami, but that didn't happen. I don't know. It was, her character really, I understood the whole concept, but that last season was just a disaster. I mean, it just really, the whole time he's trying to fix the Andromeda, Captain Dylan Hunt. It was just a dumb season. I didn't like it at all. Doyle's character was irrelevant. She didn't even need to be in it. So yeah, the show was alright till after they changed Trance. Once they changed Trance and gave her this whole different personality, characterization, the whole avatar crap and the sun and all that, that's when it just started going downhill. Because then they brung in the Abyss, and it's part of the problem with the Magog, and it was just terrible. It just got dumb. And that last season, that was just really bad. I don't even know what they were thinking when they did that. So Andromeda. I don't know. I'd probably give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Oops, sorry. Thumbs up, thumbs down. It was okay. The first couple seasons was fairly good. I give it a 3. But then after that, it just turned into a 2. It just got really bad. It just kept going downhill from there. But there's not a lot of spacefaring shows out there. The idea and the concept was really good at the beginning. Except for the Magog. They shouldn't have had that race in it at all. Other than that, the show had potential, but they screwed it all up and it just went sideways. So it was really a hit and miss with me for that show. I liked it, but then there's a lot about it I didn't like it, But if you're into space shows, that's spaceships and everything. The CGI for that show was just very mediocre. That in the 90s they had all the computer CGI type of stuff. The space battles ain't all that great. I don't know, they got really cheesy. And besides all the Avatar crap all the time, which was annoying, I really didn't get how Andromeda was constantly, even in the very last episode, the ship would fight like a huge entire Nietzschean fleet, but they barely receive any damage half the time. It made no sense that they were like the only ones who practically was always fighting against a huge fleet. It was kind of silly. But But if you like space shows, you can give it a try. It hits and misses with its audience. That's all I could say. You might like it, might not. Give it a shot. Alright, movie holics, let's get on to your B-movie reviews. The first one we're going to review is a movie called The Challenge, which was done in 1982. Box office numbers say it did about 3 million worldwide. It wasn't like a big success or anything. Supposedly, Steven Seagal choreographed most of the fight scenes in this movie. It starred a guy named Scott Glenn and a woman named Donna Benz. Basically, the story is about these twin swords. You had two men who grew up as brothers, and then one of them betrays the other because the swords, their father was going to give the swords to the older brother, and he didn't like that. So he stole one of the swords. It got lost, and he'd been searching for it ever since. The other son has basically been preparing to fight him this entire time. Scott Glenn, his character, gets mixed up in the family feud. At first, he thought he was smuggling a sword into Japan for the good brother's son. They, of course, get killed. The younger brother, he's become like this multi-billionaire, and he has a bunch of people trying to find the sword. They know it's there. They kick the crap out of Scott Glenn's character and tell him to steal the sword, which he starts to do, but then he changes his mind. He starts to like the older brother, his daughter, which is Donna Kins' character. He starts to really like her, and he eventually decides to help his master go defeat the older brother, which is what happens. They go into the younger brother's fortress. The younger brother's fortress, which the billionaire has tons of men in there. They go through there fighting all the way to the top till they get to the younger brother, and then he fights him, kills him, takes back the swords and gives them to the older brother. That's the end of the movie. It was a good martial arts film. It wasn't bad. It was a decent flick. Worth watching. Definitely check it out if you're into them type of action films, martial arts type stuff, Japanese swords, that kind of thing. The story was really good. I liked the story. It's kind of cliche because it's been done before, but it was still a good story. I give it a 4. Uh, there wasn't really any what you call CGI or special graphics or you know, that kind of thing. So I can't really rate it. As far, unless you're talking about blood and stuff, I give it a 3. You know, as far as, you know, them looking injured and that kind of crap. It was enough to keep the story going. The acting, I give it a 3. It was okay. It wasn't the best, but it was all right. Overall, I give this movie a good solid 4. It was pretty good. It wasn't bad. So 2 thumbs up. Check it out if you want. Moving on to the next movie. Is another martial arts type film, and it's called Blind Fury. It starred Rutger Hauer, Lisa Blount, and Brendan Call as the kid. This movie came out in 1989. I didn't even know about this movie. I'd never heard of this movie before. It only made about $3 million, so it really didn't do all that well at the box office. I was really shocked when I found it. I was like, I'll check that out, see what that is. And you know, I like Rutger Hauer. You know, he's a great actor, B-rated actor, but still he's a good B-rated actor. I've enjoyed lots of his movies before. Basically, the story is these guys, bad guys, if you want to put it that way, they're wanting to get into a specific type of drug business. So they grab this boy's father and try to force him to make these drugs for him. They threaten to kill his family, his son and his ex-wife. So he decides to work for him, make the drug for him. He is like war buddies with Rutger Hauer's character. Rutger Hauer's character, he becomes blind in the war. He's taken in by a Vietnamese tribe or village, and one of them teaches him martial arts with the sword, almost like a samurai. Teaches him how to live blind and with the sword. So kind of like the blind swordsman. Anyways, Rutger Hauer, he comes back to the States to visit his buddy, and then finds out that these guys are after the kid. They kill the ex-wife. He decides to take the kid to his buddy, the kid's father, and protect him to get him there. Eventually has to do a lot of fighting to protect the kid and the father and get him out of there as well from the bad drug dealers. You know, all ends well. It's a pretty good story. I liked it. It wasn't bad. The acting was decent enough. You had some decent actors in it. I give the acting probably a good solid 3. This is scale 1 to 5, of course. As far as special effects, you know, there wasn't really all that many special effects. I'll give that a 2 because it really wasn't really all that much special effects in this movie. Not really. The action was pretty good, though. They choreographed a lot of the action pretty good. It was decent. I give it a 3. The overall story, it's okay. I give it a 3 too. And then the overall movie, I probably give it I give it a solid 4. It was pretty good. Wasn't bad. Definitely check it out because it's one I never heard of before. As far as an action flick, martial arts, it was really good. Check it out. 2 thumbs up. Okay, Movieholics, that's all I have for you this week. Join me next week. Yeah, I'll have some more for you. If you have any suggestions or any thoughts about what I talked about in this video, please give me your thoughts down in the comments below, or your suggestions, or maybe some hidden gems that I've never heard of or might not well know and give a review on. Go ahead and leave them suggestions in the comments below. Anyways, that's all I got for you this week. I'll see you next week. I told you you'd be told the truth, and you just been told.